Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by AFC Heavyweight Tim Hague. Tim, how are you?
Good, thanks. How about you?
I'm doing good. Tim, you got a fight coming up July 5th at AFC 19. How's training been going for the fight?
Training was going really good. I suffered a bit of an injury, but took a couple days off, and I've been training around it, and going to be ready to go on July 5th.
Mm-hmm. Now, you were in Las Vegas recently. What were you doing out there? Some training?
No, I booked a trip a long time ago, actually, to go to Vegas for a couple days, so I just went, and it's funny how it worked. I got injured the day before I left, so it was actually a good little getaway to allow me to rest and heal up a bit while I was there, just there for 4 days.
I see. Yeah, that is good timing. So, Tim, you're going to be fighting Caleb Starnes. Were you surprised, when you got that call from the AFC or from your manager or whoever notified you that they wanted you to fight Kalib Starnes? Were you surprised when they offered him as your opponent?
Yeah, well, a little, I guess. I had asked for a few guys, and I was just kind of waiting on the sidelines to hear if they could get me any of the guys I had asked for. And when they called me back, they let me know that they had an interesting offer for me that Kalib Starnes wanted to fight, and I said, yep, sure, that sounds good to me. So it was the first guy they offered, and I accepted right away, and I'm excited to be fighting a UFC vet.
Mm-hmm. Just curious, who were some of those guys that you asked for, if you don't mind sharing?
Jeff Monson, Tim Sylvia, and one other guy, I can't remember who. It was like Arlovsky or something like that. I can't remember.
Okay. So there was no hesitation on your end to take this fight with Kalib Starnes because, in the past, when you fought against middleweights who've moved up to heavyweight, that didn't really work out for you. Those Mike Hackert fights, that's what I'm referring to. So there was no hesitation to take this fight?
No, I'll fight whoever, so it doesn't really matter to me who I fight. As long as I have a fight, I'm happy. And I can't make any excuses for the Hackert fights.
Sure.
I didn't fight the way I know I can. That's all I could say. So he got those 2 victories on me, and it is what it is when it comes down to that. But I think I showed in my last fight that I'm back and I could still throw down the way I'm supposed to. So I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Now, in this fight, a lot of people feel that you're walking into a lose-lose situation because if you go in there and you beat Kalib Starnes, well, you beat a middleweight. But if you go in there and lose to him, then you just lost to a middleweight. So what do you have to gain from this fight? A lot of people feel that you're walking into a lose-lose situation here.
You know what? I don't really care what people think.
Sure.
I look at my career a lot differently. Each fight is its own fight, and I'm not really worried about the future, so to speak, worried about what I have to gain or lose from a fight. I just want to fight, and this is how I make my money. So I take it one fight at a time, and if I win, I move on to the next one. If I lose, I move on anyways. So I've got my contract with AFC, guaranteed 3 fights. The money's guaranteed, so I'm not too worried about it. And, if I beat Caleb, it's great for me, and if I lose, I'm not really thinking about losing. So I'm going to beat Caleb. I'm going to knock him out in the first round and go from there.
Mm-hmm. Now, in terms of skill, what are your thoughts about Kalib Starnes as an opponent?
Well, he's obviously gone somewhere with his career, so he's talented enough to be hanging with the top guys. Beat Jason McDonald and a couple other guys, so he's a legit black belt in jiu-jitsu, I think, and I'm going to have to watch out for some slick submissions and stuff like that. But I'm not too focused on Kalib Starnes. I think I'm just focused on what I'm going to do to him.
Mm-hmm. Now, in this fight, what do you plan on doing differently than maybe that first Mike Hackert fight? Because Hackert was fresh from 185 coming up to heavyweight. What did those experiences teach you, and what do you plan on doing differently to not let history repeat itself on July 5th?
Well, before I decided to make my return to fighting, I had slowly become a more and more tentative fighter. I was letting my opponents bring the fight to me, and when I decided to return to MMA, I told myself that if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go out and throw down, and I'm not going to let someone bring the fight to me. So when I got in there against Jordan Tracy, we exchanged jabs first, I believe, and then he hit me with a couple inside leg kicks, and I said, all right, here we go, and I just moved forward and threw an overhand right and broke his orbital bone and got the victory. So I'm just not the same fighter that I was for the past year or two. I'm going to be pushing the pace, and I'm going to be moving forward, throwing heavy leather. So it's going to be different than what you saw against Mike Hackert in that sense. I let him bring the fight to me, and you're not going to see that anymore.
Mm-hmm. What kind of problems does Kalib Starnes pose? You know, what does he bring to the cage that, I don't want to say worries you, but what are some things that you need to be aware of when fighting him?
Well, he can probably beat me in a race. I've seen him run away from people before, so
sure.
Gonna have to watch for that, I guess. But no, he's good at jiu-jitsu, and I hear he's been training hard every day. I hear he's rededicated himself to MMA, so I'm sure he's going to be ready to go too. So, it's just another fight, and it's going to be two guys going at it. So we'll see who's tougher and who wants it more.
Mm-hmm. After your second fight against Mike Hackert, you announced your retirement. Just curious, why did you decide to retire after that fight?
I actually sat down with my girlfriend, and then sat down with my coach and training partners a couple weeks before that fight, and told them that this would be my last fight, win or lose. I was retiring, and I was going to start a career in the oil field, which I did. After I lost to him, I felt like shit that fight. I came out slow, tentative, and he caught me with a couple knees to the liver, and I went down both times. The second time, the ref stopped the fight. But my coach told me afterwards, he's like, when a guy decides he's going to retire, he shouldn't even fight because mentally he's already kind of quit. Mm-hmm. So, I'm just happy to be back, and I feel rejuvenated. I feel refocused, and my mind is right now, and I'm ready to get in there and throw down.
During the time between August of 2012 and your return fight in June of 2013, you mentioned that you went to work in the oil field. But from the mental side of MMA, were you completely out of it? Were you, I don't even want to think about MMA? Did you do some soul searching about, maybe wanting to come back? Did you, was this a real retirement, or was this sort of a break? What kind of things did you go through between August of 2012 to June of 2013?
There was about 5 or 6 months there where I was completely finished with MMA. I didn't want to think about it. I didn't train at all. And then my life just kind of turned upside down on me. I got laid off from that job. They were being bought out, and they said they didn't need me anymore. So I got laid off, and then my girlfriend left me, who I kind of retired from MMA for her because I wanted to show her family some stability and get a real job and a regular paycheck. So she left me, and then my truck went missing, got stolen, and things were just going from bad to worse for me. And I actually went to the doctor and got diagnosed with depression and stuff like that. So I did what I had to do to get better. And fighting always made me happy, and training every day was what I liked the best. So I went back to fighting, and I'm happier than ever now. I'm healthy and doing what I love. So I'm not going to let anything mess with that ever again. And, I'm ready to go. Mm-hmm.
Your return fight was in June of 2013, June 7th to be exact. When did you come back? When did you start training? Because you had to have had some sort of training camp leading up to that fight.
Yeah, probably, a month or two before that. Probably 2 months before that, I said I'm going to fight again, and just started training. And, Ken from King of the Cage has always been good to me, so we worked out a deal, and I fought for him, and then decided to sign a 3-fight deal with AFC. So I'm happy with where I'm at, and we're going to take it from there.
Mm-hmm. If all those situations didn't happen to you, do you think you would still be back? Like, if things were going good for you, girlfriend's still there, job's still there, would you have not returned to MMA, or was this just something where all those situations happen to you, and they kind of, everything happens for a reason, and your reason for fighting is because that's what you're meant to do. If things were still going good for you in the career and the relationship, would you not be back?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd still be working in the oil field in sales, and I had a lot of big plans. You retire from fighting and start a career. You make some plans, and have some goals in the future. I planned on helping my girlfriend, helping her pay for her nursing school, and thought we were going to be together, but life takes you in different directions, and that ended. So everything happens for a reason, and all the things and circumstances that happened to me over the winter and spring, I guess, led me back to MMA. And like I said, this is what I'm happiest doing, so I'm going to do it until my body is too worn out or I get too old.
Mm-hmm. You're only 30. You still have a lot of time left in this sport. You still have a lot of things at that age that you can do in this sport. Do you feel right now that you're a late bloomer? Do you feel that, maybe right now is the time, for you to really make a run in this sport? And do you feel that, right now you're in the prime of your career?
I don't know how to answer that, really. I don't know if I really feel like I'm in the prime of my career, but I feel like I'm healthy enough to continue fighting, so that's what I'm going to do for now. And I've got a different mindset now. I'm going for the kill every time. I'm not going in there just to win or just to get by. I want to go in there and knock people out.
Mm-hmm. Now, Tim, you mentioned that you're not really focused on the future. You're kind of taking things day by day, one step at a time. But what is the game plan for your career? Are you hoping to, fight 3 times for AFC, get 3 wins, and then maybe make it to a bigger show? Or are you just kind of, wherever I can get fights, as long as they're paying me, I'll just go wherever they want me? What's the goal here? What's the plan here for your career?
Yeah, the second thing you said there kind of makes the most sense to me. Wherever I can make a paycheck, and whoever's going to treat me well is going to get my services, because I feel like in the past I've kind of been taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. And I'm just looking out for number one, and as long as I can sign a contract to fight and get paid, that's where I'm going to go. And AFC's been good to me. These guys are always really fair. They're a great company to fight for, so I'm going to fight for them for 3 fights and take it from there, see how things go.
Mm-hmm. Tim, on July 5th, how do you defeat Kalib Starnes?
I think I'm going to knock Caleb Starnes out in under 2 minutes in the first round with punches.
Mm-hmm. Tim, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
To the fans, don't miss my fight. I really appreciate all the support. You guys are the reason I fight. I'm an entertainer at heart, and I love to put on a great show, so I'm going to try and keep knocking out people for you guys. And sponsors, I'd like to thank Icon Maintenance Solutions, Black Scorpion Contracting, TwoGuysHunting.com, Whiskey Rock, and Derek Germain from World Financial Group, as well as all my other buddies that have kicked me a couple $100 here and there to help out with training costs. I'd like to thank all of them as well.
Mm-hmm. Tim, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Good luck July 5th at AFC 19 against Kalib Starnes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.